I think if I were going to do it all over again, knowing what I know now, I would encourage people to get on the internet and find out as much as they can about what these various drugs do to their bodies. You know, and they can do that on their own time. You know, find out about cocaine. What is it? How's it made? You know, what does it do? It can really disrupt your heart rhythms. People don't think about that when they take it. Research about alcohol. Even though alcohol is legal, it's a very powerful drug. You know, I'm not saying I'm against it for adults. I'm just saying that people should be prepared. They should be armed with the facts. You know, find out about methamphetamine. Find out about heroin. Find out about how heroin is made. Find out about the ingredients that go into it. Find out about the kind of people who do it. Find out about why they do it. You know, they do it for money. You know, there's a heck of a lot of money in it. And, you know, and then, you know, educate yourself. Young people, if they're, one of the best programs we had when I was at Oregon Partnership was they ran out of money and they don't have it anymore. They went to high schools like Roosevelt and they created an after-school activity of filmmaking because a lot of kids love the idea of making films. But the subject matter was methamphetamine and what it was doing to their community or their friends. And one of the high schools that we did this in, they did a film about losing a friend. They had a friend who had been their friend since they were like this high, and he was literally involved in a drug deal that went bad, and he was killed. And part of the movie was about the hole in their life that he's no longer there as their friend. You know, so they weren't judging him because he was involved in drugs. He was still their friend, but they were really devastated about the fact that he'd lost his life and that they could no longer see him, you know, and you know, every day. So, and it's the kind of story that, you know, when you see it, it brings tears to people's eyes. I mean, it's really impactful. Well, that program helped those kids who were involved in the program making the film. They didn't do drugs. You know, they made the choice after the research of what they did, making these films, that they didn't want to do. We had another high school where they made 2 30-second TV spots that were so good, they worked with some professional filmmakers, that we put them on Channel 8 and Channel 12 and Channel 6 and all around the state because they were such good commercials that the kids themselves, they wrote it, you know, they produced it, they directed it, they chose the actors, they did all the stuff, you know, they were guided by the professionals, but the kids did it themselves. So we find that when kids get involved in things that are just like this project here, one of the reasons you guys are doing this, it's boring to do it out of a book. I shouldn't say that, sorry, you're going to do stuff out of books. I mean, you got to do stuff out of books, that's part of learning. But they're finding that if you're going to interview somebody, you know, it's real, it becomes real to you. It becomes more real than if you just read about it, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, by experiencing this, you get a different dimension and you get more interested. Because here's what the teachers want. They just want to get that little light to go off in you that you want more knowledge. You want to do better. You want to go, you know, find out more. You know, it's not just that they want you to take the test and pass the test. They want you to actually get involved with some subjects. And one of the things I want to tell you guys about college, and especially the upper college, you know, junior, senior year, college, you have a lot of basic requirements in your freshman and sophomore year that you have to take. But once you get to junior and senior, you start focusing on what you're really interested in. In my case, it was politics. I did a lot of political science. I got my degree in political science. And I worked in politics for a while. But, you know, you'll find things that interest you personally that you automatically want to find out more about. So as you discover those things in life, those are the guides that tell you where you should be going. You know, a lot of people don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to be a doctor. But they, through this process of education, they discover, hey, you know, I really like helping people, I really like treating people, I really like curing things. They become doctors, or they don't wake up and say, I'm going to be a lawyer. You know, this process shows them, oh, I like the law, I like the Constitution, I believe in this, and they become, you know, they move on that path that goes to lawyer. My own son became a teacher. I didn't know growing up that he's going to be a teacher. He didn't know growing up that he's going to be a teacher, but he discovered along the way that he really enjoys doing this, and he likes to have an impact on people's lives. So I think you guys can find out about each one of you too, is that you'll have your own interests. And the good thing about America, you know, don't listen to a lot of the garbage that you hear on Fox News, but the good thing about America is that it's wide open. It's a free country. You can go any direction you choose to go. And if you really, really want an education, you'll find a way to get it. If you really want to go to higher education, there's scholarships, there's loans. You know, I got through with loans. I had to do with loans my parents couldn't help me. So I paid my own way through college, and I paid it off. But it is, you know, obtainable. Now, you don't have to necessarily get into $100,000 debt like some of these guys do. You can go to a lesser, quote, lesser school. We're finding out that many colleges that are cheaper still do give a great education. So it's not just the Harvards and the Yales. You know, there's a lot of schools out there that can do